Welcome back. Inside of any document that you're working with is also a text menu, and we can click on this text menu. What we can do here is we can delete elements that we do not want from our design. We click on top of those elements. We can either click the trash button, that'll delete the element, and if we want to bring something back, we can hit undo. One thing we can do is we can add in text to any element, and there are two ways to do this. We can add in a text box, and we click on Add a Text Box. That's going to bring a customizable text box into this area. We can drag that text box to where we want it to be, so we hover over it, we can drag it into the area. We can change the font to what we want it to be. So for example, we could go to find out what this font is. We can see what that font is. We can head back to our font. We can then change the font to what we want it to be. What we can do with the font is we can increase the size to what we want it to be. For example, what we can do is we can find out what the size of this font is. We can then head back to our font. We can then change the font to what we want it to be here by placing in the number and clicking enter. And then our font will be the same size as the other font already within design. If we want to change the color of the font, we can highlight the font within the text box. We can go to the Color tab, we can choose the Color tab. We can then make sure that our font is going to be exactly what we want it to be, and the font is going to be customizable and adjustable where we want it to be inside of the text. We can use any of the pre-existing texts inside of the area that we want simply by clicking on top of the text box or going to the ellipses in order to look at the customization. Once we click on the element, you will see that element appear here in this area. Everything inside of a text box can be adjusted, and you're going to see a menu of text items here across the top. You can use italics, underline, you can also align the text where you want it to be, and by clicking inside of any text box. We then have control over the elements of that text box here in this submenu across the top. Okay, so with that, thanks and I will see you in another video.